Hey everybody, this is Rhino, and we are back to Shantae Risky's Revenge Director's Cut. Let's continue. We're in the middle of this dungeon. We got the mermaid ability, which lets us turn into a mermaid and swim. Unfortunately, I think that is going to pretty much still require some effort on my part to make sure that I get to the places I actually need to get to. The hope is that the place to the left was not a place that required water. Let's see. I guess if I turn this off, let's go this direction, and let's think. Where? Was there a water path over in this direction? Or was it just in the other direction? I guess it was just in the other direction. Okay. So that was an unnecessary journey. These dungeons are too big for not having a map. They would be fine if there was a map or anything to really help you. Just make... Come on. It's just a lot of opportunity here to potentially die. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and hit that eye. The eyes here affect the rooms to the left. And this is not a water section either. I'm hoping I don't need to go there. But I wouldn't be surprised if I actually do need to go there. Let's go ahead and use this to refill our health. I'm getting dangerously close to the point where I am going to have problems, though, because I'm running out of health potions. I've been playing fairly flippantly. See, yeah. So I'm gonna just cross my fingers and hope that down this way is the right path with the water section. And then this whole section is like permanently emptied as far as people. We still don't have the door for the boss key. Well, the good news is I think that going further this direction will actually take us to the beginning part that had a water section. But there still is definitely a lot of stuff going on here. And a lot of places where you can fall to your death accidentally. Alright. In a lot of ways you can accidentally walk into the wrong place. Alright, so this was the original place, so we're fairly close to where we started. We've been there and done that. And we've been here and we've done that. So it's this one that we couldn't access before, and now we can. Just gotta wait till the belly dance. It is like slightly questionable what a modernization of her belly dance would be. because you'd want her to cycle through the different transformation dances fairly quickly, but you also would want her to you got half a skull. Interesting. What am I supposed to do with half a skull? Yeah, I don't think it's worth it to actually travel down that way. So it almost feels like you could speedrun the game if you had all of the abilities to start with, and that might very well be the case. Because the door selector here does just kind of move you around the same things. And so if you could have done the mermaid thing first, you would have gotten the important things first. And see, it would be crazy, but I really wouldn't put it past this game to have us need to leave the entire dungeon just to figure out what to do with the half a skull. I'm also nearly at 999 gems, and I'll just save every time. Yeah, I'm just looking to I guess what's gonna happen here. There's something different about this door. Yeah, it's got a skull over it. So where do I find the other skull? This is gonna irritate me, isn't it? There's clearly another skull that needs to be collected somewhere. And it's somewhere fairly hidden down this direction, I suspect, and not at the beginning of the dungeon. Or if it is at the beginning of the dungeon, I'm going to be very upset. Let's see. Okay. So this direction, then this direction is where we came from. So either I messed up really, really bad, or this is the path. And I think I'll probably just not save anymore. That way if I die I can reload closer to the beginning of the map. Or the beginning of the dungeon. Alright. Alright, got lucky. There is water here. Well, the real thing that would happen here, almost certainly, is you would have a selection wheel instead of a dance. And maybe you would have an opportunity at some point. There we go, I just got the achievement for having 999 rupees. Yeah. You could have like an option to show a dance move after you've selected what to transform from, or do a dance move perhaps after the first time you transfer. But I'd probably not have them do a dance move every single time. I'm not gonna get that full health in time. So hopefully this is the bottom of the skull. Go ahead and smash that just for fun. It's pretty much the only reason I'm doing anything at the moment. Now, I need to be careful not to die now. It would also, I guess, be fairly interesting to figure out how many different belly dancing moves you could actually have in a game, and how different they would really look on this style or the art style that was eventually adopted. I see the problem here is I think that the other platform doesn't like to spawn half the time, so I have to kind of fall down, slide, and then do that. Now it's more difficult than it seems like it would be. Okay. Now let's just crawl out of here quickly. This is also the first dungeon we've done where you particularly have just not refilling places. So it's kind of potentially dangerous where you might fail to have any way of getting more health. And I guess where we're at, we'll use the 3 powerful things. My health is at the maximum. I feel like I should find at least one more health upgrade also. And we haven't talked to this guy at all. You would kind of expect that you would have talked to the bad guys before you fight them. But I also don't really hate the idea of just being surprised by a boss and not having a general idea of how they might fight. Cackle, cackle, you must be the genie looking for the magic seals, yes? That's right. You have 2, and now you're here for the final one. You've outsmarted Risky Boots. This would be funny if it turns out this is Risky Boots. You're very, very smart. They should make sound effects there. She'll never be able to restore the magic lamp now. You are a hero. The townspeople will thank you. Is this a mind game? If you got something to say, say it. But your uncle, he is keeping secrets from you. What do you know about this? What does this lamp do anyways? Ha ha ha. Information that valuable is not given away for free, but you have what it takes. But if you have what it takes to destroy your uncle, then you deserve to know the lamp's true power. You might look like him, but you're not my uncle. Give me everything you've got. Alright. So I'll just use my magic until it's all gone, and then I guess the idea here is a fairly smart one, in the fact that you have someone that you supposedly care about you're fighting. Alright. Really no reason not to just use this, so let's go ahead and do this, and then drink, and then do this, and then engage this. These are kind of just pumpkin chuckers, like the scarecrows, and I'll just need to be somewhat careful to not take too much damage. And you know, I could probably, instead of just letting my magic do all the damage, I could probably take him on just by hand or by hair. Alright. You can see the roughness of a lack of enough buttons in this game, being a Game Boy Advance game. Otherwise you would have more dedicated buttons to refill your health or refill your magic. Like using a potion should be a pretty automatic thing. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and use this while we're here to get a full re-health. And then he's jumping all over the place. And he's not perhaps moving fast, slow enough for me to actually hit him. Let's see. And he has multiple attacks where I feel like the first guy only had 2 or 3 attacks. Alright, so we're gonna break him. There we go. That got me an achievement. Maybe I was supposed to talk to him and hit the B button. I didn't try that. So I could have messed up there. That's strange. Now that I've got all 3 of these magic seals, I half expected Risky Boots to make a grab for him. Now's my chance to get them to Uncle Mimic's workshop, back in Scuttletown. And see, I suspect what's going to happen here is we'll find that the uncle has been kidnapped. Wanted to test something here. Will these guys attack me? Yes. So mermaid on mermaid violence is a thing. Alright. What I'm trying to find here, this may not be really worth it to do this way, is the one place where I can jump down in the water. And we've got plenty of places where we'll have to jump around and look for the water. There's still a mermaid bash ability. Didn't realize you could get so many of them chasing after you. Because I'm moving fairly fast too, it's possible that some of these pitfalls are not deadly pitfalls. But I think they all are. There we go. Right. Down we go as a mermaid. And we don't have an attack, so we need to be fairly careful. I didn't realize they were going to throw out little piranha plants as other things. I imagine it might be worth it to run around and see how many jams we can collect through this process, or if these are really, really deep puzzle areas. You can't refill your health underwater, unfortunately. So the spiders can't attack you. Interesting. These little fishes can't do anything. What's this? Come on. We got the golden baby squid. What's a golden baby squid? What does that do? A golden baby warp squid. Aw. It's not an item I think you can equip though. Actually, I think if WayForward were to animate like 3D movement animations of Shantae belly dancing, there's probably a lot of low effort games that would try and use that same movement tech. And frankly, there'd probably be some AAA games that would try to use that movement tech. There's rumors of Prince of Persia getting a remake again, so which would be the second or third remake of Prince of Persia. So I could certainly see like belly dancers showing up in that story. I've always kind of wondered if like the Magic Carpet game could ever get a remake. I don't think there was actually much of a game there, but it was an amazing tech demo and definitely a free demo that shareware type free demo that a lot of people had. So there's something I think still blocking our way there. Either that or that's just really the end of the whole area. These guys are gone. No, they're not in the boathouse. The zombies are. Alright, so if we were to look at the map, we see no less than 4 places just in this back row of ocean areas, one of which looks actually fairly massive, and so there's a lot of room, I think, to do stuff. Where can I take you today? Let's go. I think the Lilac Field still is kind of the best place. There might be a slight danger here in which we're just going to end up finishing the whole game. And I definitely feel like there's collectibles probably all over the place. It would have been nice if this game had kind of some kind of radar, some kind of map to work with a radar system. Let's see. So, here we go here, and let's see what we can buy. First of all, fill up on potions, and then we have only 1 jam, so we can't upgrade anything else, which means the vast majority of any need to actually potentially grind for gold is pointless. So either we're about to finish the first act of the game or about to finish a lot of the game. Let's find the uncle is missing, or at least not here. Neither is Bolo. Bolo hasn't played much of a role either. So this way we go. And anytime we see an opportunity to turn into a mermaid, we'll turn into a mermaid. And we'll see what secrets there are to be had. Again, that feels like there might be some more secret things. Down this way. This might just be a shortcut. So, this way. I may not be able to actually collect anything. Actually, it's a little weird that the three-eyed fishes are the only fishes that to really concern you. Alright, heart upgrade. That's cool. It's possible. It's somewhat believable that there could go up to 9 hearts. But I also wouldn't be surprised if it really is just 6 hearts is the maximum. There's a weird scooting sound effect that plays around this as you're swimming. It's a weird choice. And it's like three-eyed fish from like The Simpsons. I'm just rubbing up against every wall to see if there's maybe a secret passage, because there's a lot of stuff that looks like it might be a secret passage. And there is something we can't break yet. That is the implication more than anything, that there isn't a secret on the edges there, because if there was a secret, it would probably be blocked by a breakable section. Right, now this puts us on path. Seriously? Am I going the wrong way? Yeah, I think I'm going the wrong way. Yeah, I am. I just needed this not be underwater, so we can get to this point, and we can talk to these two. Shantae, there you are. We're looking all over for you. What's going on? Where's Uncle Mimic? Mimic does kind of make him sound like he's a mimic. Not like a monster. You're not gonna like this. We found a ransom note in his workshop. Oh no. Take a look. Maybe you should sit down. No, please read it. Whiskey Boots says she took your uncle and will trade his life for the 3 magic seals you've got. She's hiding out in the lamp's original resting place, somewhere east of here. Do you know what she's talking about? Poor uncle, this is all my fault. East? That means he's over by the mayor's private retreat. Don't be stupid. That would put him... This would put him near the old boathouse. What kind of moron doesn't know east from west? Please don't argue. I need help coming up with a plan. Voice, I can help. Who's this guy? You've got it all wrong. Risky Boots didn't take your old friend. It was that zombie gal. Roddy Tops? She'd never. Besides, why should I believe you? Didn't you explode into a huge stage clear sequence? Hey, don't blame me for putting up a fight. The pirate lady was threatening me and my babies if I didn't hand over my magic seal. You really shook things up. And she really shook things up, and now my kids have run off. Whether you believe me or not, that zombie and pirate are in cahoots, and that's a fact. This sounds fishy. Why would you come here? Why, to strike a deal, naturally. Miss Boots will be expecting to fight you on her terms, but there's a back door to her hideout, that might just give you an advantage. If you agree to save my 3 golden babies, I'll show you how to open the path to Risky's hideout. Either way, she knows I'm coming. What do you guys think? If Risky's hideout is underwater, my birds can't do squat for you. You might have to trust this guy. He might be a stinker, but I think he's telling the truth. Okay, you've got yourself a deal. Where do I start? My babies are probably hiding in the undersea caverns close by. One of them has an artifact that will help you enter the back door to Risky's lair. Let's get this done quickly. Uncle Mimic needs me. So, I found 1 golden baby before I even knew I needed to find 2 other golden babies. Cool. Alright. So, I guess the question here is there probably is a few water places somewhere else in the other dungeons. But I probably don't need them. Probably all I need to do is fast travel to the top left location, then do the water section there, and that'll probably give me the ability I need to get the 3rd golden baby. And then at some point the question will just come down to, do we want to really waste a lot of time trying to find every single upgrade thing? Alright, so Seaside Retreat is where we're going. Or do I want to just kind of finish the game? Because, like, I feel like... This guy's out of nowhere. That guy was really powerful. So, wow, that was too quick to run into enemies. Okay, I just want to find a nice safe place to jump down. Down we can go. And those only fall down a little bit, so they're not a major danger. And there we found another golden baby. Seriously. Found the golden baby squid. So we should look around the rest of this area and just see what else is here to find. If there is anything else to find. Because I find this like a little questionable. Let's see. This is where a better map would be very helpful. Because I don't know if there's another water section or if we just go into this next area and there is no water section, which very possibly, yep, you go into this next area, there is no water section at all. It's just an annoying jump section that doesn't particularly get less annoying even though you know it's there. Let's see. Okay. So I need to go back to Lilac Fields at this point. Or you know what we'll do just for fun, we'll go to the pumpkin patch. That way, in case we missed something, we might see it. Although I doubt we did miss anything. I doubt there's a water section in the pumpkin field. We're not seeing major increases in the types of enemies. Maybe we're seeing slight increases in the numbers of enemies in these earlier sections. Jump here. Jump here. Go this direction. Just ignore those. And down we go. And I wonder if this is going to be intentionally somewhat like a labyrinth. And I'm guessing those are just dead ends. Or things that at one point may have been something. Like it is believable that they may have just run out of space. A lot of different passageways. A lot of secret blocks. When we see these little plants at the bottom, does that mean we are done? Or could there be more? There we go. A lot of gold. Not that the gold matters. And we got the golden baby squid. So, we kind of know that there's a whole bunch more to investigate, though. Because if we look at the map here, yeah, there's a ton of stuff to the right. And I don't know if it's really worth investigating any of that at the moment, or if I should just choose to investigate it later. And that actually didn't go anywhere. Can't go go any further to the right that way. Can't go any further to the right that way. Can go further to the right this way. And my general goal here is to try and keep as low as possible and as far to the right as possible eventually. Those definitely look like doorways or passageways at some point. Right. Yep, and you can't do that. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is actually the secret entrance to Risky Boots' temple, and we are approaching the end of the game, as it were. This game has gone very long for a Game Boy Advance game, and for what it's really offering. They really managed to stretch the limits of what I would say is a reasonable length of a game. Alright, well, at this point, I'm just gonna jump back, and then I'll run over a couple screens back to the squid and turn in the 3 golden squids. You've done it. You found all 3 of my babies. I'm fit to burst. Well, Genie Girl, a deal's a deal. Come on, kids. Whoever has the artifact, give it to the nice lady. You got Mermaid Bubble. While swimming as a mermaid, attack to fire bubbles. With that thing, you can fire bubbles in mermaid form. In addition to blasting enemies, you can also destroy undersea blockades. Risky Lair is east of here, just outside the town in the depths part of the sea. Well, what are you waiting for? Kick her butt, take her down hard. Once you do, snap some close-ups. It's time for a showdown. Hold on, Uncle. I'm on my way. So, yeah. Almost certainly I could run around the entire map at this point and do, I think, all of the little extra things that would want to be done. But I think for the first ending in particular, since there's 4 endings, probably just does make the most sense to make a mad dash towards the end of the game, and let's see what happens there. I'll say if this game offers a New Game Plus, and that's the way you could get like the speedrun ending, that would make a lot of sense. No, those barriers are not barriers that can be opened. Let's see. I'm looking for some of the walls. I think I broke a wall here with my bubble attack. Nope. Those don't break. Interesting. So they just have some arbitrary walls to make it more complicated, I guess. Those do break. That would be a nightmare if they didn't. Right. And that's gonna get me back to almost max rupees. Hey, what's it? Yawn, is it morning already? Yes. Warp squids. So, the other thing to take from this is, yeah, there clearly is another boss fight after this point. Because if there wasn't, then why is there another warp point mentioned? So, yeah, I think there's going to be a bit of a twist. Uncle Mimic's going to turn out to not be as good as we think. And yeah, there might be a forcing reason that makes us run around the entire world to get all the collectibles, or it might just be like worth the effort after if something happens. If we try to fight Risky Boots, for instance, and she's really strong, that would be like a potential reason. The last person we fought was a fairly strong boss. Alright, this looks like this is just a auto-scrolling section, which is weird because we haven't had any other auto-scrolling sections. And we have these little black characters, pirate style characters. I imagine I want to hit as many of these as possible, and there's no like loss if I shoot instantly, just like a shooter. The thing here is, though, there really can't be too much of a reward for doing this. Like, they could give me a jam if I did it perfectly, and that's about it. It certainly would be weird if this turns out to be the replacement for like a final boss dungeon, because they kind of ran out of like time or production budget when the other 3 dungeons were just super long. You can also see with that dark red lava-esque sea in the background, that's something that would benefit quite a bit with better resolution and more shades of colors in the palette. Because yeah, that does just look like a solid block of red by modern stance. And again, I wouldn't be surprised if the Game Boy Advance can only handle like 16-bit colors. But on the other hand, this still probably would fall closer to an artistic decision on WayForward's part to have dark red backgrounds. I suppose there's an interesting question about how many different layers of parallax do you need in a game, because there's like a foreground, there's the main field, there's a background, there's another background, there's like 5 or 6 different layers scrolling at different speeds here. There's not enough time to get all of these. And I imagine I wouldn't die instantly if I hit a mine. And I'm at max rupees now, so it's kind of pointless to even try and kill anymore. This is a weird experience because it kind of feels like it needs to be rising action that would act as kind of a falling action experience. and I know that doesn't make any sense, but yeah, it feels like they're giving you a nice gentle on-rails shooter, even though this is a high action sequence, as a way of slowing things down a little bit before they get to a big boss fight. But it's not like what you were doing before this point inherently had to be high action sections. You were just swimming around. So you kind of have a different action to balance out a different action. Well, well, at that point, then I guess that is an indication that is an indication that we might just be done with the game here. Okay. We have a dark area, which, I mean, unless I'm supposed to do something like this, that didn't light up anything. I guess we're supposed to just wander around until, I guess the general idea here is that you just have to figure out where you're going. A lot of opportunity to get hit by crabs. Crabs haven't been an enemy in a while, so they're going back to some old school stuff. I'm gonna do this and then do this. Just climb up this way. Now I'm gonna have to crawl this whole thing. Otherwise I'm gonna get hit too often. That wasn't too hard. So I guess I could have gone and checked in on the zombie girl, Righty Tops, but I imagine we would have just found she wasn't there. It seems like maybe Uncle Mimic and the zombies are working together, or maybe just the zombies are brainwashed and under the control of Risky Boots, or maybe they're all working together or something. Ho ho ho. Make yourself comfortable, Grandpa. It's funny they call him Grandpa, but he's the uncle, so I mean you can be both certainly, but your genie friend should be arriving any moment now. You three. What are you standing around for? You've been paid, now shove off. Hey, the deal wasn't for cash. What about our brains? So they wanted to eat Shantae's brains. And our lifetime supply of coffee. Sorry, change of plans. It ain't worth fighting over. Let's go. I got a feeling things are about to get messy. So Righty Tops is upset that she can't eat the brains of Shantae. She's crying. That's a funny relationship they've got there, but I imagine a zombie would want to eat people's brains. Perhaps even people they liked. Risky, this is a new low, turning my friends against each other. It's sick. Ah, you've arrived. It could have gone differently, you know? Maybe you should have just handed over those seals in the beginning and saved your friends from such grief. The outcome would have been the same. Now give me those 3 seals and I promise that your uncle can go free. I can't say the same for you. Don't do it, Shantae. She'll use them to unleash the lamp's hidden power. Take them and run. I can't. Whiskey wins this time. You guys were dragged into this because I was too weak to do my job. It's my responsibility as Guardian Genie to face this on my own. Give Risky the magic seals. Like, no! I don't have a choice. I have to do it. Magic seals are mine. So you clicked no and it still did it. Your uncle is free to go. Uncle, go now. But I'll deal with Risky. Get going. Ho ho ho. In a few moments the lamp will be restored to full strength and its dark power will be mine. It's not over yet. I really wish this was voice acted. There's not that much dialogue in this game. There's still time to stop you. You're certainly welcome to try. Ho ho ho. And here comes the ship again, Min. Throw the steam-powered oceanic Tinker Tub into overdrive. Let's see what this baby can really do. So it doesn't seem like we're going to actually fight. I'm trying to figure out what does damage here. And so far it looks like nothing. That's what we needed to do. We needed to I'm gonna need to refill. I'm gonna need to refill everything now. Okay. Alright, so the idea here, I think, is I gotta get this spinning up somewhat when he's about to do his attack, and then get this to do as much as possible, and then I'm gonna set this just ready. Right, and I think one of these balls is supposed to be hit back. No, it just has something in it. So there are people in the ship. I'm gonna go ahead and refill. Yeah, and I guess if you were gonna just not have a potion, and you weren't gonna have a health upgrade, I could see how this final battle would potentially be too difficult. There is just a high chance of taking damage, regardless of how well you're trying. And that was only slightly more difficult than the first battle. But there definitely are points in this game where this game feels like maybe it's for a 14-year-old as far as the challenge on it, but most of the time it feels like a game for a 10-year-old. But then you have Shantae in the belly dancing outfit and a few lewd jokes in the dialogue and such that makes it kind of closer to a 15-year-old type game. So I just don't think they had the right audience in the skill level as they did in the story and the characters they wanted to introduce or reintroduce in the sequel. You're finished, Risky. Tisk tisk. Gotta keep your eye on the prize. The lamp is missing. Yep. You see? And they did have only like 2 different animation poses for Risky boots, so I guess in the end, they didn't spend as much animation budget as I thought they might do at the very beginning, because I was very shocked to see that they had 2 different poses and animations for her, but then they kind of just used them back and forth, which honestly is still better than most visual novel games that only have like 1 animation. The magic lamp is back in action and ready to rock. If you still want to know the secret of the lamp, I'll show you. Open wide and say ah. And see, this would be the point where it would make sense for her to have been able to suck out Shantae's transformation abilities, which she acquired in the first game also. Guess what? What have you done? Do you understand now? This lamp has the power to suck up and enslave genies, which seemed fairly obvious to anybody who knows genie lore, but I guess in this world that's not something that happens. Once captured, the genie must grant every wish her master desires, no matter how evil. That is what your uncle has been hiding from you. With this, I can turn the genie into a weapon of total destruction. No one will dare to defy me. But how could it work on me? I'm only half genie. I'll admit at first glance it seems pretty useless. After all, there aren't any real genies left to enslave. But since you're a half genie, I figured why not use the lamp to strip you of your powers. Gasp, she's right. My magical half is gone. What's left is, I'm human. Well, she still has the pointy ears, but okay. And you can even see Risky Boots doesn't have pointy ears. Now, let's see how you fare without your special powers. Hear me, Genie of the Lamp. I command you appear. Do not hesitate. Destroy this brat. Do not stop until she's a stain on the floor. I can't transform. Risky will use my magic for evil, and all I have to fight with are these items I've found along the way. Please be enough. Alright, what items do I have? Why do I have like the bottom part of the jaw? That doesn't make any sense. Alright. So I can still do all my magic attacks that I designed. So she's turning into the monkey and the wow, the mermaid doing a spin attack in the air. But this is nothing actually. Like, because I can just use my potion, and then let's just, for safety's sake, refill our health, and then we can just activate this again, and just let this hit her as much as we want. And I guess, yeah, if I was gonna just take her out with the hair attack and not use any of the magic, this probably would take a lot longer. But put the two together and you're doing fairly large amounts of damage. It's a little shame that our we're gonna need to use another magic potion. Yeah. This, again, just seems a little simplistic for the final boss battle. It feels right in line with what you would expect, though. Like, fighting the shadow version of yourself. Just make sure we don't die. They do have fairly high health, though, So I could imagine if you had not bought any of the things and you were just trying to speed run this game and hadn't gotten any of the magic or any of the health upgrades, you would be in a really bad position. And even at this rate, I might run out of health or magic potions. This is like my belly dancing moves won't transform anything, but they'll pause time. Let's see. Yeah, that doesn't affect her transformation in any way. I thought maybe you could do the magic belly dancing and cancel out on it. Well, that kind of sucks that you have to run through this part. But I guess the general idea is that this is the part that is also supposed to help you recover all your health. And you can't hit bubbles when you're underground, or when you're a mermaid. So that's something to be aware of, I guess. Of course, I just blew that because I was not watching my health close enough. You definitely run into a problem there, where potentially you're going to waste a lot of time just trying to, like, can we skip any of this? Apparently you can hit this back button to speed up this whole process. But yeah, we're gonna have to do that whole boss battle. Let's go with yes this time. It doesn't seem like you get an achievement either way. So if there's an achievement for choosing yes or no there, it's after you beat the whole game. And see, I wouldn't really hate if they said, I'll see you in the next room for the final battle. Make sure to save, and then, but then you wouldn't be able to go back and get the items. They probably should have put the save room in between the alright, I'm gonna try and be a little bit more cautious. I'm not doing a good job about being more cautious, but but yeah, if I mostly try to avoid taking damage here and just do this. I guess what we should try here is to see what happens if we were to drop this. Yeah, that explosion did not work at all. Let's go ahead and refill. That was a little premature, but whatever. So, You might be able to use the fire blasts on the ship and maybe do slightly more damage, but I don't think you can really do a lot. Then when he's chasing like this, you have to kind of run and then go ahead and get that going. And see, he's in front of the lamp, so in the blinding flash there, the lamp disappears. We'll skip all of that. So we'll just try and hit as much as possible while we can, and then we'll have to use more magic potions. And then get back to this part. Have him kind of stuck in a cycle. I thought I did, but apparently not. But you don't really have a dash ability, so it feels like Shantae should have a more simplistic dash ability just to get to the side of the screen. Just managed not to take so much damage. Another magic potion, another one of these, and then keep a close eye on the damage. I'm gonna let it give me one more hit, and then I'm gonna choose to move on. Yep, that's good enough. Now to refill your health. See, that's probably like the halfway point, I would guess. And there are slight changes. I could probably use some better strategies in a lot of places. To speed this whole process up and not take so many hits, because I'm like back down to 3 hearts already, so I need to definitely pay attention, because I can really only take about one more hit. See, well, yep, one more hit was pretty much it. We're about out of magic, so we'll use another magic potion. Yeah, you would have a real problem if you were not stocked up. And the rest of the game, you really don't need to be stocked up. So, it makes a lot of sense why you don't ever pick up any potions or health elements, because you really don't need them. But then you get to this final fight and it's just like massively more difficult than everything else you've done. Alright, almost dead again, so equip that. There we go. And so we've defeated her evil genie self, which you don't really want Shantae to be a human for the rest of the game, so you wanted to turn back into a half genie. One assumes that the other citizens of the city couldn't magically transform like me. It's over risky. You fool. You would destroy your superior half in exchange for this town full of simpletons? Then enjoy your victory. It's only temporary. The last laugh will be mine. Ho ho ho. Shantae, you won. Uncle, my magic. Gone. You're human now. There, everything's going to be okay. Uncle, what about my hair? I don't know why it chooses to obey. Perhaps it's not genie magic as I once suspected. Perhaps it's part of you doesn't come from your mother. Your mother. I let her and everyone else down all because of my foolishness. So, who's our father? A squid? It's not your fault, Uncle. The danger was always out there. I was the one who rushed in unprepared. Anyway, let's get out of here. The others will want to know you're safe. And fade to black. So all along, Risky had us thinking that the lamp was the weapon, when her real scheme was to get her grubby mitts on your magic. It took nerves of steel to do what you did. Destroying your magical half was pretty gutsy. Bah, who needs magic? First thing tomorrow we'll start training again. This time I'll teach you some human moves. Thanks everyone, but I still feel farther from my mother, from my true home than ever before. Deep down I want to keep trying, but I'm useless without my magic. Nonsense. Miss Jeannie, I'm ashamed of myself for behaving so badly. It's clear that you love this town and will defend it to the end. That's why I'd like you to return as Scuttle Town's guardian. Will you take the job? You take me back even without my genie magic? Absolutely. I'm going to have a talk with the Ammo Baron and get the town back to normal lickety-split. You will? Yes, I'll do it. I'll protect this place with everything I've got, but I won't do it alone anymore. We all love this place and we'll defend it together as a team. And I promise that from now on I won't be too proud to take help from others, especially from you guys. This feels very kidsy, this story. Evil never rests. Risky Boots and her Tinker Bats, I guess those were the guys, are still out there. And Roddy Tops and her brothers too. Things will be different from now on. Yeah, but as long as we stick together, evil doesn't stand a chance. So yeah, they're definitely leaving it open for a third game, and a third game eventually did come, although I don't think for the Game Boy Advanced. So yeah, this game definitely got the bitter taste of Camera Obscura out of my mouth, to use that analogy. This definitely feels like a decent start for the Shantae series. It would have felt a lot better, sure, playing this on the Game Boy Advance nearly a decade ago when it came out. By modern standards, it does feel pretty rough, but it's a throwback game, and you just have to know, hey, in its time, it was alright. At this point, we can see there aren't a ton of people at WayForward. I feel like WayForward probably has gotten a little bit bigger over the years because they've been fairly successful with the Shantae series, and they've gotten some license deals also. And I think they may have even published a few games. So they got a little bit bigger. I still wouldn't call them like a AAA company or anything. They're still at best making single A games or maybe double A games. And then the director's cut brought in a few more people to probably work on a few points and just polish the game up. I imagine not too much changed in the director's cut. The real question here is, I love to see all this QA too. For a game like this, you really needed the QA. This game could have been a nightmare with all the platforming and all of that. They're giving special thanks to a lot of people that like reviewed their games. That's weird. But do I have a good reason to want to go back and try and get all the achievements and get the other endings? Because I don't even know what ending I have. We know that there's a speedrun achievement. We know that there's an ending probably for not getting any life ups, and life ups seems fairly unrealistic. So I got 25 out of 34 special items, and it took me 6 hours and 30 minutes, which I think is way less. And so then we get a nice little picture here, and see the way this is framed of Shantae. I would say this is probably not too lewd for like a 12-year-old, because it's not heavily zoomed in on her. Remember, again, this would be used on a low resolution Game Boy Advance originally too, so a lot of the artwork here in the director's cut may not have been shown at all in the Game Boy Advance game, which may very well have changed the whole experience. In fact, they may have rewritten some lines of dialogue to make it more adult too. Yeah, the original Risky's Revenge may have been completely milquetoast in comparison. But yeah, this specific picture, it's perfectly fine. It doesn't zoom in, it doesn't overemphasize. There is a little bit of cleavage, there is a little bit of belly being shown, but it's also being heavily covered by her pose. And of course, all of this really just boils down to, is there a problem with seeing a woman in a two-piece bikini? Because in actuality, yeah, you just go to any beach anywhere and you'll see women in two-piece bikinis a lot scantilier clad than showing a lot more skin than Shantae ever did. Magic mode has been unlocked, but there is also that weird feeling in the fact that someone animated that angle and they focused on that angle, and because it's an animated part, you can also make the clothes like magically stick to the flesh of someone a lot more than you could in reality without using a lot of double stick tape. So like there definitely have been anime shows out there where the animators are drawing outfits that are so stuck to the curves of a woman that they might as well be naked, because you're still seeing pretty much everything. Alright, so let's see what magic mode is. Choose file. That doesn't do anything. Alright, so then let's go to, let's see if the options say anything here. And we played the whole game with stretch on. Okay. So let's see what happens if we go new game, magic mode. So you could play now original mode, or you can play magic mode. It cuts the defense in half for players looking for an extra challenge. And here you have Shantae with braided hair and a snake outfit, and I would say showing a little bit more skin. Let's see, so if you play magic mode here, the question I guess I would want to ask is, does she look like this the whole time? Woo, life as a half genie is hard work. Ever since I ran rescue boots out of town, every monster in the Sequin land, I'll hold back anymore. We gotta have to hair them until it hurts. So she does have a full outfit here. I was wondering if there might be an achievement for dying here, since there's an achievement for surviving this ambush. Nope. So, but here's the problem with something like this. You're not going to have any magic to start with, so it's going to be a while unless this is a one-hit kill on all the characters, and I don't think that is the case. So they give you an achievement for beating this section, and you get to keep the like 30 or so gems you'll get. Yeah, I've still got the moves. And you do get a little boob jiggle there. Yeah. I was kind of hoping for like a New Game Plus though. Like, so I have to go the other direction and get the egg first. Yeah, I wasn't... Like, you don't get your magic here. And I could see that in magic mode. But... I'm a little surprised that's not a New Game Plus option otherwise. Jeez, I can't even jump out of the water. You have to get to the top and then hold A. Wouldn't be surprised if magic mode unlocks there's only 2 of those guys in the whole game too. Interesting. Alright, let's just go to the main menu. Yeah, I'm not gonna play the game in magic mode. That's not gonna happen. And if I'm not gonna play it in magic mode, let me just take a moment to just look at all the achievements. I have 12 of 26 of them. And let's see. What did I miss? I've missed destroy all the Tinker Bats in the sunken cavern, which is a 16.6% of players did that. And I imagine that was the scrolling thing. Apparently I missed that. Heart of Stone was to say no when she said give the puppy back. That was 12.8%. Own all the magic and book upgrades. That seems doable. Keep the pike ball activated for 2 minutes. That seems doable. Completionist is to see ending number 2. That's 5.9% of players accomplish that. Kill a druid at midnight. That's doable, but you actually would have to play the game at midnight. Beat boss number 1 with only electricity. That's doable, but you probably wouldn't do that. Kill 50 enemies with lightning. Only 4.4% of people have done that. Kill 100 enemies via stomp. That seems unlikely. Most people do that. Beat the game. The genie clone without using potions. Only 2.4% of people have done that. That's not doable. Beat the game with no heart holders. That 1.7 people have done that. Speedy and greedy is ending 3. Which I imagine means you have to do it fairly fast and have maximum gold, maximum rupees, and only 1.7% of people have gotten ending 3. Speedrunner is ending 4, only 1.6% of people have done that, and then Mighty Shantae Champ has 1.4% of people have seen all 4 of the endings. So yeah, I don't think it is worth it by any means to put more time in Risky's Revenge compared to simply moving on and playing the next game, which would be not... I don't think it's Half Genie Hero. Shantae in the Pirate's Curse, which is a 2015 release. So, yeah. And I'll just quickly look at what the game looks like in the Pirate's Curse, and it does seem like it is fairly improved in the graphics. Not majorly improved, not as much as Half Genie Hero, but there's something there. And yeah, the Pirate's Curse is rated T for teen, so let me just see what the rating here was. E for everyone, 10 plus. Mild fantasy violence and suggestive themes. So yeah, you definitely see that it is gonna probably go teen plus going forward, and those achievements are just not worth doing. It would be very possible for me to run around and find all the collectibles, and it probably would add about another hour of gameplay, but that would be it. It would just be very pointless. It would be a half step and a half measure. We've seen the story. I've enjoyed the story. There are tons of video games out there that overstay their welcome and have too many collectibles, and far too often I've become the obsessive collector who's wanted 100% a game for achievements, and I try very hard to not be that person anymore. And yeah, so yeah, I like Shantae, Risky's Revenge. I think you should play it. I think you should play it once. I think you should rush through it. Try to get under 5 hours if you can, and then just move on to the next game. You might run into slightly a high price getting Risky's Revenge Director's Cut, and then the next game, and then the next game. You might end up spending somewhere close to $100 for 3 or 4 Shantae games in a row, and maybe you shouldn't play them all in a row. That's probably a good idea also, but I do think it is a series worth playing, and it is somewhat reminiscent of a Metroidvania and a Super Mario Brothers platformer, while still being its own thing with its own story. Anyways, that's going to be it for this series. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist or a gift card. If you want to check out any of the other games I've covered, I have a playlist on my YouTube channel for every single game I've covered, so go check those out too. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.